So, guys, the day one of the third test has been rained out, as expected by all of us, actually. We all presumed that that would happen. We all thought that there will be rain that would affect this match. But I thought that there's enough talking points to talk about to still have a show with you guys and have some insight into everything that has been going on. So I thought let's have a show still. Let's talk about it. Let's review what took place because there were major decisions made in this particular test match with regards to lineup. The toss obviously is going to play a role for the rest of this match. We're going to strategize a little bit, maybe try to think about how South Africa should approach this as well. With all the rain that is happening, as well, with the rain that's going to be happening on other days, do the South Africa just settle for a draw? Do they try to go aggressive and try to put as much runs on the board as possible if they do get the chance to bat again, or a chance to bat at least? There's a lot of things that we're going to talk about on today's show, and I think it's a good place to start. So before I get going, before I get started, please remember to do a couple of things for me. First and foremost, please subscribe to this channel. Please click that notification bell for all future videos. Also, I would like you guys to please download the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every month. This is the latest issue. The link is on the screen as well as in the description. Every issue, including all back issues, is 100% free. So go ahead and get your latest copy of Cricket Fanatics magazine monthly. But if you guys also want to get involved with us, there's a lot of things that you guys can help us with. For example, there's loads of cricket we still need to cover as well, other than just the cricket that we're already covering. There's a lot of areas of the game that we haven't tapped into, and it's plain and simple is that we don't have the resources and we don't have the time. We want to try to promote every single corner of South African cricket, and that's where you guys come in with a Patreon account. So click on the link on the screen or in the description and go to our Patreon account and be a part of it. Try to join us in promoting South African cricket and to grow South African cricket and try to improve it in any way we possibly can. We here as a family and as Cricket Fanatics family, and I think we all should get involved together. So please go ahead and do so too. And if you want regular updates on everything that has been happening, go to cricketfanaticsmag.com for all your regular updates. We've got features over there that you can read about the test series as well. We've got columns. We've got plenty of things that you can learn from the website on a daily basis. So please visit us every single day. It will really help a lot. If you have any thoughts of a story or something that you want us to know about and you want us to write about, or if there's anybody that you know about, if there's any young cricketer that you need us to feature on our particular platform, get involved with us as well by emailing us as well. It's very important that you also get in touch with us there. You can email us to get your information through to us, or DM us on social media by cricketfanaticsmag@gmail.com. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. I'm keen to discuss this particular lineup, the choices that were made, maybe perhaps reasons for the decisions as well. We'll discuss all of that on today's show. So I'll see you on the other side, guys. A very good evening and welcome to Cricket Fanatics magazine. This is your review show, as review as it can get. I'm your host, Khalid, and this is the show where we're going to talk about everything that happened. Well, we're going to talk about nothing that happened on day one of the third test. That's actually what's going to be taking place on today's show. But there's a poll running currently. I want you guys to know what you guys think of this particular setup, because the lineup, I'll tell you what happened so far. It started raining. We knew it was going to rain. I had a suspicion that it's probably going to rain the entire day. And that is exactly what happened. The day was called off. The toss was already won by England, and they opted to bowl first. They actually put South Africa into bat, going against what Aaron actually told us on the show about this particular ground being a flat pitch and a batter's paradise, and you always bat first at the Oval. That was words from our England fan expert out there. He gave us that advice as a community here too. And then came the lineup. The lineup was obviously given to us and shown to us. Welcome to the show, Verna. At least I'm not alone talking about this. Thank you for joining in. But there were some questions about the lineup when the lineup was released. So that's what we're going to discuss. And I'm sure Werner is very clued up on what happened on social media today. He saw all the reactions. I want him to bring some of that knowledge also into it, what he saw on Twitter when this particular lineup was released. So the third test against England, Dean Alger, Cyril Ewe, Keegan Peterson. Then there was a change. Markram was dropped. Kayo Zondo was brought in. Ryan Rickleton replacing Rassie van der Dussen as we expected. Calvin Verreynne as the weaker keeper batter. Then at 7, an interesting inclusion. Vian Mulder. Now, a lot of us suggested, or some of us suggested in the live chat, that Mulder should have come into the team anyway instead of Lungi Ngidi. Lungi Ngidi's injury or precautionary hamstring problem that he had kept him out of this game, and it actually kind of forced South Africa's hand to make a decision. Are they going to go for the extra batter, the extra all-rounder at least, in Vian Mulder, or are they going to go with another young person that's on the bench or another young seamer that is on the bench? They opted for Vian Mulder and made another change in Marco Jansen. The rest stayed the same. Looking at this lineup, we bat to 11. So I was, so I was looking at it. I was pretty impressed with what I saw. I was a little bit concerned though about certain things, but I was okay with the lineup that was selected, Werner. The reasons behind it is because I think Mulder's the fact that Mulder has some form in batting gives me that indication that he will get more runs that Lungi Ngidi will obviously give us. But I wouldn't have made the change if Lungi Ngidi's fit. If Lungi Ngidi was fit, I would have played Lungi Ngidi. I told everybody on the show, and a lot of people didn't agree with me on that thought. But I would have just made. Actually, I would have only made one change, and that is Rickleton obviously comes in, but I would have made one change, and that would have been Marco Jansen coming back in for Simon Armour. And the rest of the lineup I would have kept the same. I would have given Aiden Markram another opportunity. I mean, you picked him for the series. You might as well give him a proper go if you've backed him for so long anyway. That was my thought about it. And it's a gamble to put on a new person, on a new guy. He might not get you the runs that you required from Aiden Markram anyway. So the gamble for me would have been more 60-40 in Aiden's favor because he's already played Test cricket. He's already got that behind him. He had more incentive to want to score runs. But you could say that for the same thing for a guy like Kayo Zondo, who hasn't played before and wants to prove to people that he can do it. So it's a close one. That particular selection, I'm not upset either way because I feel that Kayo Zondo has done what he deserved, what he's done in the cricket and deserved an opportunity if a spot opened up in the lineup, and they did the right thing by doing that. Um, in this particular game, but I did think that we changed a lot in this match. And if you have forced changes, sometimes I think you need to maybe pull back on some of the knee-jerk reactions or decisions that you make when there are other things that came into place. But let me ask you, Werner, how did the community react, and what was your reaction when you first saw the lineup?
So my first reaction was probably the wrong one because I hadn't watched the toss. I just quickly saw the team lineup and I'm like, what? Whoa! I probably wouldn't have brought in Vian Mulder for Lungi Ngidi, only to quickly be corrected that he actually picked up a niggle. And it's still kind of a wishy-washy type of option, bringing in Vian Mulder for Lungi, who's our opening bowler, who combined well with KG and Mulder. Look, he has plenty of potential, and I'm hoping that the confidence he has from batting well in county cricket will carry over, because he hasn't delivered with the bat so far in Test match cricket. So um, I understand the reasoning for bringing him in. They want to lengthen the lineup a bit, while getting a somewhat experienced guy in there who has done well with the ball for us, especially in moving conditions. But yeah, it's still a bit of a gamble. He's not the complete all rounder at this stage, but look, he has some confidence, even though it is against Division Two bowlers on flat tracks. So we'll see exactly how that translates here. But it does lengthen our batting lineup. Obviously, he is a much better batter than Lungi is, and we still have the sorry, we still have the bowling options in Norkia, Janssen, and KG with Keshav, and then obviously Vian will do a good, or should do a fairly good holding type of role. If there is some movement in the pitch, he will extract it because he does have a good seam presentation. So not a bad pick. I expected, obviously, we all expected Rickleton to play, and it was confirmed yesterday. And then Janssen for Armour is no surprise. I wanted Zonda to come in for Markram. To be honest, I thought Markram needed to be dropped. He's not mentally there for Test cricket right now. He's been all over the place. You could see he's just not. Head is just not quite in it, and so I'm not that surprised, and I'm actually happy for Zonda. So I hope he takes his opportunity and that he does well.
Yeah. So Tinku Sharma, I've blocked you for 5 minutes. You can rewrite that what you wrote in the live chat. You can rewrite it and say Kayo Zondo's better, not quote Kayo. We've blocked that particular title or that particular word on this channel only when we're referring to players. We can use the word quota when we're talking about the quota system itself. But when you're going to call people quotas, that's when I'm going to draw the line. So I blocked you for 5 minutes, gave you an opportunity to maybe say the right thing and say that, do you think Zondo is better than Aiden? But you can comment again after 5 minutes. So yeah, I hear what you're saying, Werner, and unfortunately, again, we're sitting in a situation with South Africa where, um, conveniently, you could say, they forced their hand was forced with selection rather than making the choice, the hard choice. I don't think they might not have made the hard choices with this particular match, if everybody was fit. Now we will never know because we had two injuries that forced their hand. The one strong move was Aiden Markram. That wasn't forced, and it gives us insight into thinking. Well, it gives me a feeling of, if you back like I said before, if you're backing a player through so many games, what's one extra game I feel gonna do with regards to if you're going to do that? Now you're taking a gamble either way, I feel. But Zondo could score that 30, that 30, or that 40 that Markram has not been scoring, and it works out for him too. But if he gets a 5 or a duck, that all changes again, and we're all back on the selector's back again and saying, how can you drop? How can you drop? So you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. Unfortunately, that is the role of a selector. But when I looked at the lineup, I thought if you look at it from a cricket perspective, this lineup I feel is quite balanced. We've got a nice balance of youth and experience. I feel that if Mulder can bat the way we're hoping that he can bat, and if he can bat the way he batted in county cricket, then it's obviously the best possible move that we could have made, even if it wasn't in their control. But I think this lineup is okay for the over. I think we can still win this match with this team that we have. I know it's going to be difficult with the reduced days that we're going to be having, but tomorrow is apparently supposed to look okay. I think I'm looking
Yeah,
at the.
that's true unless the queen dies and they decide to take a day off in a memory.
Why would you
Which it can happen. It can happen. Just
Why
putting
would
it
you put
out
that into
there.
the universe? Why would you put that in the universe? Okay, so Friday's also looking like it's going to rain a bit. So Saturday is probably going to be the one day that and Sunday is going to be the 2 days that we're probably going to have some game time. But I'm hoping that rain is going to stay away and we'll see some game, of course, or some sort of run scored by South Africa. Were you okay at the toss after we lost the toss and Stokes put us into bat first? Would you have made that decision as a Were you okay with that decision?
Um, yeah, like it's a tricky one. You probably always want to bowl in England when it's overcast. And I think at this stage, Stokes is also of the mindset he loves to chase in the last innings. But I don't think it's a bad thing batting first, especially at the Oval. That's a very flat track generally. So I guess the best time to bowl will be on the first, then whatever the first day ends up being, with the new ball in overcast conditions. That's probably your best time to be bowling. But the Oval is generally quite a flat wicket, so I wouldn't. Uh, it definitely. Yeah, so the Oval is quite a flat wicket, so it doesn't bother me too much. Maybe tomorrow they come out, there's a bit of sunshine, and it works out well.
I'm sorry for laughing, guys. Um, but Lorenzo came out with a unique uh, chat here. I'm sorry, but if it happened, Issa should take the points with all due respect to the Queen. She's not Jesus or God or Allah. So that's what he has to say about that particular thing. It's pretty funny actually. But I don't think that would have. I don't know how that would affect. There's no way we could tell how that would affect the game if that had to happen. But anyway, let's move on from that. Aaron came on the show and you heard him loud and clear, telling us that there's no choice but to bat first at the stop a wicket. He almost like told us this. He basically told us we're crazy to even think of the bowling second, even with the overhead conditions. So, do you have a rebuttal for that, or
I guess both teams, even though the pitch might say bat first because it's the Oval and it generally has lots of runs in it. Both teams' batting lineups are a bit under pressure, though England responded pretty well on the second test. It still feels like if you send the opposition in with the bowling attack you have, and now that we have Marky Janssen back into the attack, even though Lungi is unfortunately injured, you can put them under pressure with the new ball in overcast conditions. So
mm,
I'm not surprised at the decision that much, even though I am not disappointed that we are batting first. I don't think it's as big a deal like us batting
yeah,
first at Manchester.
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah? I agree with you 100%. This particular match for me, I think, I mean, this particular match would have been the perfect final test because I think that the conditions and everything actually favors both sides in certain aspects. Both teams have certain players that can exploit this or dominate or would be able to do their role. I don't think it's going to be in the bowler's hands altogether completely. I think it's going to be more balanced if we can get 4 days out of this, hopefully, because that's still enough time for us to put on a good performance. Let's talk a little bit more about that Zonda decision because the reason why I said that we should have given Aiden the last test is because if Zonda puts on runs, then they're going to have to make a decision on Aiden, and that's probably going to be the decision that it's over then. If Zonda puts on runs, because then it would be unfair to drop him at that point. But then wouldn't it be unfair to drop him even if he doesn't score runs? Because I know we're going to play against Australia. A lot of people would say that Aiden will probably come right good in that conditions because it will probably suit him better. But what are your thoughts on that? Because I'm not getting consistency from our selectors with their decisions. Sometimes there's it looks like a certain pattern is going this way, and then they go off the pattern and off the course and do something completely different. So it went from no, experience is everything to now no, it's okay. Youth can play. So I don't know where I'm sitting with it currently and how I'm feeling about it.
I think Algar was trying to back experience, and obviously he's come a long way with Markram, and he's played with him at the Titans, and he's open with him, and so he wanted to give him a longer rope and see if he can't come good. But it's gotten to that point where we're now 1-1, and we want to win this last Test match because it's been a long time since we've beaten England in a Test series.
Mm,
Also, there's Test championship points up for grabs, and we want to get to that final. And I think he realized that Markram's head is just not in it in Test cricket at this stage. So it's better to give Zona that opportunity. And whether he does good or not, he should get the next series as well
mm,
in Australia. That's my opinion. I would continue with him and Rickleton especially. Maybe potentially Rossi comes back for Zondo in the Australia series. That might happen. Even though Rossi is also not really hit the ground running in Test cricket, and he's also struggled. He had some fighting innings here and there, like in the last Test with the broken hand, but it's not really enough to convince me that he's like what we need in the middle order in Test cricket right now. But it's fair to back Zondo. He's done well in the last couple of seasons in domestic cricket. Um, I think it's important to not just look at his overall domestic stats necessarily, but look at how he's been doing of late. He did well in the warm up game, so he has some confidence behind him. He's a very experienced guy, even though it's now at international level, but overall cricket experience counts for something. So I think back him, even if he scores two low scores in this test. If we do get two innings, we'll see how much game time we do get. I'd back him to continue in Australia as well.
Yeah. The one thing I can say about Zondo, since I've watched him play, and obviously you need to look at the players individually and see how they approach the game. What I have noticed about him is that he prizes his wicket. When he plays 4-day cricket, I've always noticed that he doesn't mind standing out there in the middle and not getting runs until he gets runs, and he's 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 tried to guts it out, but he also has a couple of shots in him. Obviously, every cricketer does, but I mean, I do feel that Zondo is the type of player that understands his game a lot better now than he did a couple of years ago. I mean, it hasn't necessarily been the most stable career for him in domestic cricket. It's been very inconsistent, but over the last year, especially the recent domestic season, he was pretty good. Now, yes, not consistent enough, I feel, at domestic level. I still believe that we need to look at conversion rates when we look at domestic level and picking players, not only averages and not only how many 50s they've got or hundreds they've got. So ultimately average. I don't think that that should be the thing that they should decide on solely. They need to look at the way players score runs, mentality they need to look at, which they can. I'm pretty sure talking to coaches, they'll be able to give you some insight, not only from a specific team, but also the opposition that played against them, because they would understand the match situation as well, understanding when those players come out to bat, what they had to do, what the job was, what was required of them when they scored those runs. That needs to be looked at, but particularly, I believe, conversion rates, particularly for Test cricket, because our problem is scoring hundreds, converting, getting 50s, hundreds, big hundreds at the top of the order. And the problem with our South African batters is the conversion rates are all below 30 almost. Not a lot of them are hitting in the 40% mark, which is okay for me, I feel. 40% conversion is okay. I think that's what where I feel. 35 to 40% should be okay. But if they're converting at 20%, 30%, I don't know. 40 to 35% is okay for me. What I mean by that is, guys, I don't want them to be scoring 30, 40, 50s and only 2, 300s in a career. It means that that tells a blatant story. Unless it's not outs, it tells a blatant story. That means that they aren't able to get the bigger scores or convert those 50s into hundreds, which is what is needed in 4-day cricket. Actually, the most important thing for me, I feel, for your top order. What's your thoughts on that, Verna?
Yeah, conversion rate is definitely very important. And you look at somebody like a Ryan Rickleton in first class cricket, he's made 1450s, but he's also made 1200s. And that shows that usually when he gets in, he makes it a big one. And I see Pratik's comment in the YouTube channel in the comment section. That makes sense. Obviously, I totally like glossed over the fact that Timber will be coming back for the Australia series. So obviously, you'll probably
Yeah.
slot straight back into the middle order. He's been like a pillar for us in the last couple of years, so he'll come back in at 4. So Zondo might drop out again unless he's now like it's really only one test. But let's say he totally outperforms Rickleton, and maybe they decide to play him ahead of Rickleton in the Australia series. But going by fact that Rickleton is the first to get an opportunity, he's probably the one that they'll stick with first if Bavuma comes back, and then Zondo will still be amongst it. But I think that the time might have come now for Rassi and Markram in the test format. Markram has been exceptional in T20s. Rassi's been exceptional in ODIs, and he's been quite solid in T20s as well. And we don't even, yeah, I think Rusty's injury is about 6 weeks. He should be out. I think I read somewhere, so he should be fine technically for the Australia series. But we'll see if he does make the squad. But I don't mind going with Ryan Rickleton in this stage. I think he has plenty of potential, and he showed what he can do at first class level. and he has a good conversion rate at that level. So I'd stick with him. Bavuma has been very good for us in Test cricket in the last couple of years. So that's probably the two I'd slot in there. It's starting to look like it might take better shape if you think about it. If Ryan Rickleton can now start contributing as well, that makes things look a lot more solid with Arvin and Algar, who's had a good opening partnership. Keegan Peterson just needs to tighten up outside the off stump. He has a very good technique, but he can become a bit loose outside the off stump. Unfortunately, he's just something he needs to work on. But I'm sure he can. And then you can have four Rickleton, or then obviously it will be Temba four, Rickleton five, Arena six, and then we'll see how they end up splitting the rest. If they then stick to Janssen at seven, the three pace bowlers and Keshav, or what they do. But it's
Mm-hmm.
not looking too bad. Obviously, our bowling lineup is very strong.
Mm-hmm. I actually agree with, or not agree, but I understand this question from Lorenzo asking, okay, but if Zondo smashes 100 and Rickleton fails, what then? Um, I guess then it's an easy move. Temba comes back in and Zondo gets another opportunity then, because, I mean, you have to reward performances at the end of the day, I feel. But then I want to see that consistently happen. That is my problem. I feel that rather would they should have made a decision on Aiden before the series. I felt you either decide that you're going to go with him for the series, or you're going to give Zondo an opportunity, because I don't think one game is a good enough opportunity for either or. If you
Yeah,
get
look,
what I
I,
mean.
I I wouldn't have played Aiden in the series. I think I said that before the series started. I wouldn't play him. I don't think he's in the right headspace for Test cricket right now. He doesn't have his game sorted out, and I wouldn't have played him in the series. I would have started with Ryan Rickleton from the get go. It hasn't worked out that way, but now we finally get that in the last match. Hopefully, we do get some game time in here. Hopefully the rain stays away
Mm,
for long enough that we get a proper show here in this match.
yeah,
Um, to get to Dex's question, no, I don't think Aiden should retire from the
yeah. I
long
was going to
format.
get to
He's
that
20.
next.
He is 27,
You'll
so
have plenty of time to come back, man.
he still has time. He can go back, play first class cricket for the Titans, smash 2 seasons of 1,000 runs in a season, and make sure that he gets his head back into space. I think to some degree his T20, his
What?
uprise in T20 has sort of coincided with his downfall in Test cricket, and I think maybe it's a technique thing, but I think it's more the type of approach that is so way different that I don't think he's been able to make that switch between the two.
Mm. What about Aiden maybe going to play some county cricket for a year?
Yeah, it'd
Because
be
I think
fine,
that
but
those conditions are the ones that he struggles in when the ball is moving, swinging, all of those type of things. I
yeah,
mean,
I think
maybe.
it's going to come down to where his head is at about it.
Mm,
Does he think that he still wants to be playing Test cricket, so he still wants to fight
so,
his way back into it? Then he probably try that, go to play county cricket. If not, he's now become such a good T20 player. He might start playing T20 leagues around the world in the times that we play Test cricket, or when the first class cricket at home is going on. He might rather be playing in like the CPL, like some of the guys are doing now, or the 100 or whatever the case may be. So I guess it's going to come down to, does he still really want to play Test cricket? And if that is the case, he might say, okay, well, then I'm going
mm,
to try and really put in the effort in first class cricket for the Titans. Maybe see if I can get another deal with Hampshire, as he did a couple that year of the World Cup. So that was what, 2019.
mm,
He played for Hampshire. He did pretty well in their the Royal One Day Cup. Not so well in the first class cricket, but it did prepare him well. So I, I I guess it's a tricky
yeah,
one with him. I think
yeah.
he has
Because for
all the
me,
talent in the world. He can definitely do it. We know how he started like a house on fire against Australia and then against India and Bangladesh right at the beginning of his career. He showed glimpses again against Pakistan last year with that 100 in Pakistan. You thought, okay, maybe he's getting the hang of it again now, but it just hasn't transpired yet. So let's hope that
mm,
I think he still wants to play Test cricket. So that's what I think. So
yeah,
I think
me
he
too.
will try and
Yeah.
do go the first class cricket route.
I mean, I think Enoch is going to have a big question or great conversation on his hands with regards to Aiden, having those conversations with him to see where his head is at, because I don't think he's going to learn the lessons in domestic cricket. I've said this before. The lessons that he needs to learn, or the way he needs to get his head out of whatever he's doing currently, I don't feel that he's gonna get that in domestic cricket, because it comes back to competitiveness and just getting runs no matter how you're gonna get it. And I feel that South Africans conditions suit Aiden perfectly. Domestic cricket is perfect for Aiden. There's enough loose balls for him to punish. There's enough. Um, there's no pressure around him necessarily to score runs. So he always comes back and he does phenomenally well in domestic cricket. I don't know. Maybe it changes. Maybe it's different. With all the fast bowlers, young fast bowlers that are in the Division One this season, it might be a little bit different. So with Nande Berger coming back from injury and that type of things happening, there's some excellent speedsters that are in the Division One this season. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens with Aiden. I believe in Aiden 100%. I've always believed in him. I've always thought that he would be the next captain for South Africa, actually, in all formats. That was my dream for him, at least. But and I do believe that he has within him. Players bounce back. Players can bounce back. They can get dropped and bounce back, but you need obviously some luck as well. Um, but let's see what happens. I know a lot of people will be judging Zondo's selection before even watching him play a test match. I think let's give him the match. Let's see how he bats, performs, and then we can judge. He might also look out of sorts. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen in the test arena as soon as that person walks out in the middle. But you can try and prepare yourself and try to prepare the person as best as possible for the task at hand. So there's been this question for the last 3 weeks, Dex, for you. Werner, Christian Dutoit kid, is he really 17? I mean, he's already 6'2" and has power like Aiden. Is he going to be as tall as Marco? Nobody knows that but God. Or maybe you can ask the Queen. Like Lorenzo said. Werner, your thoughts
Yeah,
on him? I know you posted on some clips of him on your Twitter as well that I saw. Um,
yeah. He looks very good. He plays for Walter Cliff. Yeah, he's quite a big guy. He looks like he has a lot of talent. He has all the shots. He really likes to dominate the bowlers. He played against Maritzburg, was it? I'm not sure against who it was again this weekend, and he made centuries in both innings. In that,
Jeez.
it's like a 65 over match. So it's sort of a longer format match, but he still made both hundreds in like 75 balls, 72 balls. So he really likes to dominate bowlers, and so I think I posted a clip about him last year in December, and so I've been following him a bit, and he looks really good. Him, Richard Seletswane, it's also looked great. See that's got some good traction on social media. There's quite a few guys coming through who are looking very good. That Stivian's team is crazy, packed, jammed full of talent. It's good. It's good. We're getting to see some of them in the under 19 squad that will play in Division Two. So I think I said I hope they'll show some of it on YouTube, on Supersport YouTube page. But yeah, so Christian Toy is not part of that squad, but hopefully somewhere along the line. But he does look very good. But I do love the look of Richard Seletswane as well. I think he's going to be a big player, and he's only
Mhm.
16.
Yeah. So you'll probably see them on Cricket Fanatics Mag very soon if I get my hands on an interview with them. And Werner, probably I'll bring you into it as well because I would like you to also be involved with it. I mean, you kind of scouted him in a way to a degree. So yeah. If I organize that, I'll let you know, and then we can maybe get some because I want to start doing now with the test series between this period now when the test series is over before the World Cup. I would like to get some domestic stuff on the go, interviews, etc., and even beyond below that as well. So, gonna be interesting to see. Gonna be interesting to see. Hey, this kid is still a young kid, so there's still a long wait for him to go. Of course, I hope that Kaimo Jordan week. I need to get myself there this year because no COVID restrictions. You guys can't keep me away this time. You guys can't keep me away this time. That's like my favorite part of time of the year is Kaimo Jordan week. So I don't care where it is. I'm going. I need to find a way how to go, and how to get there. Um, well, it will depend on what's happening in that period in December. It's obviously going to depend on that. But normally it's in a period that's quite quiet, so I'm hoping that it's going to be okay. From
You
the poll,
know, I, don't-
yeah,
is it usually early December?
if I remember correctly, it is in the first week of the holidays. So I don't know when that is
Okay.
in
Yeah, it's
December.
so yeah. Obviously, South Africa are touring Australia at the end of the year,
Yeah,
but it should be before that probably.
it should be
So
before. I think it ends like 17 December normally, round about that date.
yeah.
I think, if I remember correctly. But it might change. It depends on what venues they can get and other things as well. So we're gonna have to, if there's money even for it, blooming hell, out there is.
I'll probably be posting some video clips if because I'm guessing it's going to be um recorded on Pitch Vision and stuff, and I'll
Mm,
probably post some clips if I see some good performances. So uh,
awesome.
it should be a fun time.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, so from the poll, you guys voted. I asked you three simple questions. I said about the lineup. I said, was it the perfect lineup? Was maybe one change or the wrong selection completely? 44% of you guys have voted for the perfect lineup, one change, 33%, and the wrong selection, 22%. So it seems quite relatively spread out. It wasn't so emphatic as I thought it was going to be on in one of the categories. Okay, let's read some of the more of the comments. We've got Lauren saying the narrative that Markram will just go back to domestic four-day cricket and smash it up is getting boring now. Let me put this nicely. Markram was deservedly dropped, and I agree with that statement. He should. I felt that you either drop him before you give him the series. Um, that was my suggestion. They went with completely. They went splat bang in the middle almost. They gave him two games and they dropped him. So, yeah, giving another person an opportunity, of course. Um, Khalid, if CSA can't seem to find gems, we can make it easier for them. And yes, we can, because I mean that's our job, guys. I've always tried to be the person in Cricket Fanatics magazine here. I've tried to do something with it. I've always tried to try and promote young talent as much as possible. When we see guys come onto the scene and try to guide them in as little as possible as I can, because cricketers can get, as you can see with regards to Diovar Brevis, for example, the media swallows him up. Um, when the player is very talented like that, and it's very difficult to then afterwards um, to try and guide them or try to give them advice before that happens. So I try to do a little bit of that before they become big guys. Even though they forget me anyway when they become big, it doesn't matter. Maybe you plant a little bit of seeds in the back of their mind, maybe that helps them in the career that could maybe take them forward. But yeah, there's enough. We've got enough eyes out there to be able to put to light. I think a lot of us had a lot to do. I feel as a fan base, I think we had a lot to do with Stubbs's selection. To be honest, I think because we really spoke about him a hell of a lot on this channel and put it out there in the media, gave insight. I mean, I remember talking about the wicketkeeper thing that some people didn't even know about in the hierarchy, so in the hierarchy of certain areas of CSA. So there's a lot of things that we can information that we can provide that maybe they can't. That's why we tell CSA and or the sponsors or whoever that to get on board with us, because we can help make cricket better. Even Tex says 19. Will you be going to the Cape Town Convention Center to cover the auction at the 19th? I'm hoping to do so. I really am hoping to do so. I'll see if I can wiggle my way in there somehow because it would be awesome to do so.
On that Stubbs point, I still have this tweet here up. But you asked sometime. I don't know if it's going to focus now, but you
Yeah,
asked. I think it was about cricketer, and I said not a regular yet, but I like the look of Tristan Stubbs.
yeah. I remember that. Is this thing? Are you? Is it me or you that's frozen? I think it's him. Oh, okay. Van is a bit frozen. He'll come back soon. I'll continue with that. Yeah. So I do feel that with certain players and stuff, we probably will give them. We put the information out there so that people can know more about them. Of course, that's the aim of Cricket Fanatics magazine, to highlight players that are obviously not spoken about a lot. Um, yeah, Werner has apologized. His internet crashed. Um, I'm just apologizing for him now quickly. Okay, cool. Um, let's move on. Khalid Zondo coming in is well deserved, but let's get it straight. He's just a stopgap replacement. So, Raj, your thoughts on selecting Zondo over Khalid? Virat scores 100. Okay, well done to Virat Kohli. I forgot to say that as well. Well done. Can't keep a good man down. One of my favorite players coming onto coming back with a massive 100. Well done to Virat. We knew he would come good. It's coming good at the right time as well before the World Cups, etc. So, I think we're going to get a very dangerous Virat Kohli coming through now over the next time. I think that probably took off a hell of a lot of pressure off his back. I can't even imagine what that must have felt like. Sure. Brother, Markram needs a break from Test, and Zondo shouldn't be there at first place. Players like David Beding, the Zors, you should be there in the first place, says Suraj Campbell. Ravi Kumar says, very fair point, bro. We need youngsters like the Zozi, and he's done the Black African batter, like you said. And I've said that for many time, for a long time as well. I wasn't necessarily very on board with the Zondo promotion. I felt that a younger player should maybe get the opportunity that has been scoring runs and consistently. Because there have been some players that have been outscoring Zondo over the last 3 seasons in domestic cricket that could possibly get an opportunity, maybe ahead of him. But I do believe that he has the heart for it. 100%. I feel that he does have the heart for it, and that's important to have in Test cricket. Um, Khalid, are you a bit worried about Brevis? I have a sneaky feeling this T20 hopping and earning millions around the world will at some stage get a bit much for him. I hope he don't hit that cliff. You know, it might be a blessing in disguise because we can go the other way too. He might be able to see how hectic this life is by being involved in all of this T20 competition. He might not like that because he might not think that's sustainable, and then maybe take a step back and focus on getting into the test team and playing test cricket, etc. I don't believe, from my conversations that I've had with Dewald, from my interactions with him, I never got the vibe that he didn't want to play for South Africa or didn't want to play 4-day cricket. He's always been a guy that wanted to walk in AB de Villiers' footsteps in a way, but also go beyond that. And yes, he's a very humble guy, and he said if he could only be 10% as good as AB, he'd have done his job. But I believe that he can go beyond that, and I think that he has the talent to do, but he needs the right guidance. The thing that I'm most important and most worried about, I'm not worried about, I'm saying the thing that I would like to stress most is, and the piece of advice to deal with if he is listening, it's to make sure that the team around him is good. And I'm sure that they are, because they would have gotten him. He seems very protected, and he looks happy. So that's the first thing for any young cricketer out there. I think that the team around you needs to be good. That they have your investment, your interest at heart first, rather than the money bills, because money will come, especially when you're young, and if you put in the hard yards and you put in the work in this day and age in cricket, you can balance it right. I just hope that the team around him is good and the team around these young cricketers are good to give them the right advice for them as cricketers. Proteas warm-up games are against New Zealand and Bangladesh at the Gabba. Khalid, Queen passes away just now. News came Queen passes away just now. News come, will test be cancelled? I have no clue. We spoke about it earlier on the show. I'm not sure. Something like that has never happened before, so I really can't tell you what's going to happen. I think a massive thing like that, it's crazy. It will be, I don't know. I wouldn't be able to tell you what will happen because it's never happened before, so I don't have anything to fall back on. Holly, your brother, your view on the all-rounder like Evan Jones, in my view, he's a gun player. So I like the look of Evan Jones. I think he's a quality player. But I do believe that we need to be patient with youngsters before hyping them up too much, because sometimes hyping certain players up as well can be destructive to them as well. You could put so much pressure on the player that they never get a chance to develop and live up to that expectation, and that can kill someone. Um, oh, flip. So the Queen has just passed away. RIP, guys. That's extremely crazy. I'm really sorry to hear that. Yeah, we're gonna have to wait and see what happens with the test now. Um, so yeah, But I'm done for the show, guys. I think that's a terrible way to end it. But thanks a lot for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. 1-1 would be a good result, but I hope that they don't cancel the test, and I don't know if they will, but I hope they don't. Um, let's see what happens. I'll keep you guys updated, though. I definitely will keep you guys updated on what's happening. Don't forget to do all the things that I asked you guys to do. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell, download the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free. Stay to your inbox every month. Link is on the screen as well as in the description. And also, don't forget to smash the like button. Also, don't forget to become a patron today. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys very soon. We'll see you guys tomorrow with another daily show or review show, dependable on what happens in the game. Thanks a lot for watching. Peace, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And I hope that we see some test cricket tomorrow. Peace.